Alright guys, this is how this story starts. Me and a buddy wanted to build the cheapest drag car possible, so that's what we did. We started with the LS motor. I built the harness myself. It was the first one I'd ever done. Then we did every bit of the work ourselves, and you can see it here running. Try to piss at it. A little more. Come on. Ready?
Yeah.
It was such an awesome feeling to hear that engine turn over, man. And here it goes. It kind of jumps ahead quite a bit, but I built my first turbo kit. It's nothing fancy, but man, it got us going, and it was awesome. Turned out really good, was looking really good, and then this happened. Jack still works. That's what it looks like when something burns down. This is all the way in the back 40. As you can see, we had a little bit of a fire. Man, there's nothing more devastating than losing everything you've owned for the last 10 or 15 years. I had a lot of good stuff in there. Tons of tools and memories that I'll never get back. Had my first truck in there. Y'all don't know much about it, but it meant a lot. I lost my toolbox that my dad got me for me when I was a kid, and that was one of the things that hurt the most. What sucks the most is that this was an arson, and I have no clue who done it. I lost a lot of stuff, but it led to this new project. A couple years later, we got back on the horse. I decided to go with the S197 Mustang, just an 05 Mustang, 6-cylinder. But it had the cool red interior, and there's not a lot of parts to LS swap these unless you get a Cradle, which, I mean, everybody can do that. But we decided to make our own mounts, as you can see. And, man, it ended up being really cool. It turned out good. This is something that you don't see a lot of, and I know it's kind of generic, but, man, it works. And it didn't cost hardly any money. That's the big plan. Our main goal with this car was to be around $3,000 and have a running drag car. And as you can see, we did it. I mean, I need to get a price list together for y'all so I can prove it, I guess. But I made myself TIG weld all of this stuff so I could get better at it. You see I'm building a turbo kit right here. And we used 2-inch black pipe, which I know sounds crazy, but it holds the weight of the turbo. And there wasn't any bracing because of that. We went with the GT45 turbo, just a quick eBay $179 deal. 2.5-inch intercooler piping. Did it all myself. I made myself learn how to TIG this aluminum. It's super hard, but it's worth it. And if you've ever had a turbo car, you'll know why that we went this way. Anytime you have boosts, you tend to blow boots off and whatnot. So we wanted to have as least connections as possible. As you can see, we mounted the intercooler up front. I also removed a front cradle in the car that a lot of the brake lines and everything ran on. It just got in the way. We freed up a lot of room taking that cradle off. And what I mean by cradle is it was like a deal that held the radiator and some brake lines and whatnot. But it was super heavy, like 50 pounds. Couldn't believe how much it weighed. So it had to go. The bumper covered everything up nice and clean, just how I wanted it to. We're getting really close to being finished here. I just had to have the exhaust out the front, you know. It took a lot of time to make it, believe it or not. Here's something really neat. I made my own truck accessories and folded the alternator down, and then you move the idler pulley down on the bracket itself, and man, it really cleans it up. I cleaned the turbo up after it burnt in my shop. I kept it from the old car. Here I'm cutting the hole for the wastegate. We just bought a little $60 5-gallon fuel cell from eBay, and there it is, man. The car kind of came together. I did all the body work on the door and put a new front fender on, and now I'm hooking up the Holley Terminator and just a few screenshots of things that we was doing. But there's a fuel system all done up, has one tank, and then I also made a control panel for the engine. just took a little bit of time, but I wanted to be as clean as possible. Right now we're running on 4 cylinders, and I had no clue. It sounded pretty healthy, but once I watched the video, I felt stupid. But anyways, we ended up having one side of the coil wires not grounded enough, and once we done that, it was perfect. I used some factory column parts to mount a heim and used a 3/4 rod for the steering shaft. Turned out pretty cool. And here's my drive shaft that I cut down on the lathe and redone. I used a tune from the sloppy tune cabinet file. It got us going and running pretty good. Man, we had a ball after that. There isn't much left of this car right now, and I hope to bring more to the channel later. Thanks for watching.